And in preparation for meditation, as I adjust the volume of the music, I invite you to begin to close your eyes and allow yourself to get comfortable in your chair, on your couch, on your bed. And if you're in your car, don't get too relaxed. I invite you to be consciously aware of your breath, sensing the warmth, the gentleness of each inhalation and exhalation. Sensing the power and presence of life alive within each breath that you take. Allowing each inhalation to caress every muscle of your body. Sensing in the exhalation, the release, the power of letting go. Allowing your breath to take you on an inner journey within. As you sense your body from within, noticing the sensations that are alive within your body. And allowing your breath to greet each one with tenderness and compassion. Sensing the elixir of light, of life, alive within you. And allowing the energy of deep appreciation to fill you in body, mind, and spirit. I invite you to become aware of your heart space. To touch and breathe, placing your hand over your heart as you take deep and full breaths in to the count of 5 and out to the count of 5. And as you continue those deep breaths in and out, remember and feel. Call to mind a memory that elicits the feeling of deep appreciation, tenderness, compassion, love, joy. Perhaps it's time that you spent in nature, feeling the warmth of the sun, watching the waves ebb and flow as you touch the sand. Perhaps it is the joy of your being, remembering a moment with a precious loved one. Allowing the elixir of those feelings of love, of joy, and appreciation to fill you. Feeling the warmth, the glow alive within you. And from this open place, open-hearted place of mind-body coherence, let us ask the wisdom of our heart. What am I being called to heal in my life? Where am I seeking to step into my power? And as I continue to breathe in and out from my heart, I rest in the stillness of my heart as I listen to the wisdom. What is one courageous step I can take in the direction of my wholeness? And with deep reverence and gratitude, I thank the wisdom of my heart to reveal to me what is mine to do, what is mine to let go of at the divine, right, perfect time. So from that place of steadfast truth and strength and faith, I breathe deeply, saying yes, yes, yes to life, to walking in the light of truth, living from the inside out. And so let us take that deep breath in as we name and claim and breathe the truth, the wisdom of our hearts. Feeling the vitality of spirit enlarging your heart, empowering your spirit. I invite you to ground yourself as you begin to rub both of your legs. Rub your hands together. And if it feels right, to stretch your arms way up high in that power pose. Taking a full deep breath, and when you are ready, open your eyes and allow the gratitude of your being to continue to ripple out from your heart to the hearts of all who have gathered here and beyond.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me, and I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude within.
People.
So good morning, good morning, good morning. So I'm going to start us off this morning with a video that was created by Robbie Novak, aka Kid President, and it is all about the power of choice, our power of will.
People, you know what time it is? Decision time. So, you got a decision to make. Don't worry. You make decisions all the time. Like what to eat, what to buy, what to wear, how to spend your time, who to spend your time with, what you're gonna say, how you're gonna say it, whether or not you put on the dinosaur costume and skate through town. Hey, it's an option, and I'm proud of it. Researchers found this. We make thousands of choices each day. Thousands of them. In fact, the more responsibilities that you have, the more choices you have to make. There's options all up in your face all the time. And on top of all this, with each choice comes a consequence. Every choice that you make leads to something good or not so good. Like that old saying, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes that reason is you ate a whole roll of Oreos in one sitting. If you excuse me, I gotta take a break. Okay, I'm back. Ugh, that was a bad decision. If you're watching this video, that means you're awesome. Congrats, you're awesome. How will you make awesome choices? Here's a few choices for how you can make choices. You could be impulsive. Don't even think about it. Just mindlessly point, pick, and do whatever. Disclaimer, I don't recommend this choice for making choices. Now you can do it, but it'll lead to mixed results. It's especially dangerous while picking your wardrobe or defusing a bomb. Can't be impulsive then. Another choice you have when making choices, don't do anything. This is a choice to not make any choices, which is a poor choice. Just stand there, wait, do nothing. It's an option, it's always an option. You could say nothing, do nothing, but fair warning, then you'll be nothing. Just saying. Another choice for how you can make a choice. Just be a follower. Yeah, just do what everyone else is doing. When you're a follower, you don't really have to think. It's really simple. Just to look around, see what everyone else is doing. Is everyone just complaining about something? You can do that too. Is everyone doing what everyone else is doing? You can do that too. Is everyone eating an entire row of Oreos in one sitting? Just do that. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm back. I have to make better choices. So being a follower, you can make that choice. It's just a really big problem with that. The world needs you. So how's about this? Focus on being someone worth following. I like that choice. Another choice how you can make your choices, be thoughtful. Warning, this requires thinking. It takes some thought to be thoughtful. But thinking, that's something we should do more often. Think about, what do I care about? What's important to me? What kind of world do I want to live in? Do my choices help create that world? I want to live in a world with more dancing. So what do? A little bit of dancing. The choices you make help make the world. All of us together make big choices sometimes too. Like we all try to come together and make a big decision. Like in an election. Who will lead our country? That's a big decision. Whatever happens there, there's something that you can't forget. Just how powerful you are. There are no small people and there are no small choices. You're making big choices every single day and they make a big difference. Whether you're president in the big fancy Oval Office or not the president, or just a cable with a cam phone and some cardboard. Your choices matter on election day and every single day. Real change happens right in your backyard. The little decisions that you think are little are actually a really big deal. The choices we make our lives. In your life, it's an awesome one. Make the kind of choices that are worthy of that awesome life. I'm gonna make a decision right now. This world needs a little more dancing, so I'm gonna dance right now.
So Robbie, in his playfulness, in his lightheartedness, really brings home the message for all of us that there are no small people and there are no small choices in our lives. And he shares the importance and the significance of every choice we make and how we must become consciously aware of how we make choices in our lives. And this wisdom, even though presented in a very playful way, really is in perfect alignment with the third spiritual law of success as taught by Deepak Chopra in his 7 spiritual laws of success. And it has to do with the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. And the law of karma is this, according to Chopra. Karma is both action and the consequence of that action. It is cause and effect simultaneously, because every action generates a force of energy that returns to us in like kind. There is nothing unfamiliar about the law of karma. Everyone has heard the expression, what you sow is what you reap. Obviously, if we want to create happiness in our lives, we must learn to sow the seeds of happiness. Now, those of you who study Unity's teachings, who have been participating in classes and services, I pose this question to you to place in the chat box. What Unity teachings, principles, is in alignment with the law of karma? And I know Donna and Matt will help me out to share some of these responses.
Someone says principle number 3.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Who is that? Celebrate.
If you don't mind me saying, it's Janelle.
Yay! Why am I not surprised? Woohoo! Anybody else? How else have we heard this said in Unity?
The law of circulation.
Yes, the law of circulation. Awesome. What else?
Thoughts create experiences.
Our thoughts create our experiences, which is in alignment with principle 3 and circulation. Anything else? Any other ways we've heard this? Okay, how about the law of mind action? So you guys have infinite wisdom, right? We call it the law of cause and effect, that Everything we energize in our world regularly, thank God, not everything we energize creates and manifests in an instant, but that which we spend a great time energizing in thought, belief, action, in word has an effect in our world. It has been sometimes called the law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind, energized with our feeling nature, produce after their kind. And Bill and Cher Holton say the law of mind action this way: thoughts, words, actions, energized with our feeling nature, produce more of the same thoughts, actions, words. And so we do. Brilliant. Principle 3, we say that, every Sunday we share one of our principles, our foundational teachings, and it is that principle 3. What I energize in thought, feeling, and action has the power to create my experience. So knowing this truth, we must be conscious of what we are sowing with our thoughts, words, actions, and deeds to make sure that they are in alignment with which we desire to reap in our lives. And so not only does Robbie invite us into this, and Deepak Chopra and his teachings and the unity teachings, this is also found metaphysically in the Bible. So the question then becomes, if we are infinite choice makers, as Deepak says, how do we become the master, embodying our power of dominion and will to become masterful, conscious, and intentional choice makers? So I really want to bring home how many choices we are engaged in. And so Deepak Chopra says that we are infinite choice makers. You and I are essentially infinite choice makers in every moment of our existence. We are in a field of all possibilities where we have access to an infinity of choices. Some of these choices are made consciously, while others are made unconsciously as we sleepwalk. But the best way to understand and maximize the use of karmic law is to become consciously aware of the choices we make in every moment. We'll just reflect for just a couple of seconds. How many of you, when faced with a choice, a decision in your life, and fear was so prevalent within you, or anxiety, worry, doubt, and any other self-limiting belief, how often did you believe oh, there is a field of infinite possibility. Oh, there is an infinity of choices for me in this moment. And usually when we are engaged from that fight, flight, freeze mode, in that place of fear that has its many expressions, we feel trapped. We don't believe we have choice. And sometimes we can default to how we've made choices in the past. And we will get to that in just a moment. Not only does Deepak Chopra remind us that we are making numerous choices throughout the day, and Robbie had shared with us in the beginning of the video, but the researchers at Cornell University also support this. In their research, they found that the average adult makes about 35,000 remotely conscious decisions each day. And each decision carries certain consequences with it that can be either favorable or unfavorable. Other ways to saying that, in alignment with our highest essence, our highest truth, or in alignment with maybe our personality, our egoic identity, so to speak. And so Deepak says, knowing this law of karma, the law of cause and effect, and knowing about the power of choice, he invites us to look at how we can make those favorable choices in our lives. Life is all about choices. And so there's two basic steps. And first, it is one, to be called into being that observer, that place of neutrality. The watcher has been referred to. And then next, to be a masterful choice maker. How do we claim our mastery? And so first, let's look at what does it mean to be an observer, to be radically self-aware, as Robert Brummett shared with us in Living Originally. So to be an observer, moment to moment, we look at, when am I energizing in consciousness? And then to also become keenly aware of what kind of choice maker I am and have been in the past. So what am I energizing moment to moment with my thoughts, feelings, words, and action? So there's an invitation to maybe to start out and set, an alarm on your cell phone, on your computer, on your Apple Watch for an hour. And then when the alarm goes off each hour, to pause, take a breath, and just say, what is alive in my thinking? What am I energizing? What feelings are alive in me? And then to breathe deeply into them and say, am I energizing something that is of my highest good? Are these seeds that will sow what I desire in my life? Or might I need a little spiritual alignment? We take our cars in for tires to be aligned. And sometimes we need that adjustment ourselves so that we can navigate our way to that which we really desire to create in our lives and to bring us home to ourselves, our true selves. And when we notice that we are maybe energizing doubt or fear, either in feeling or thought, we can be gentle with ourselves and just simply ask the question, as I did in meditation, sense and breathe into it. What wisdom, what is seeking to be healed? Because if everything is meant for our highest good, even those things that we think are unfavorable can be a call back to our highest self. And then we ask, the second part of being an observer is to be aware. How are you making choices moment by moment? What kind of a choice maker are you? And I may have, on some of these, renamed the one that Robbie presented in the video. So being a follower, do you make choices to please your loved ones, your partner, your children, your parents, your boss, so on and so on? Are the choices I make in alignment with what society tells me, how I should look, who I should be, what determines the success? Or is there the wisdom within that knows that truth? And then when we look at when Robbie said, you could just not choose at all. But no, in your not choosing, you are abdicating your power of choice, your power of will. And to know there's really no such thing of not choosing, because we are creating every moment. So what happens is this: what we are holding at the highest vibration in thought and even subconscious beliefs will be the thing that produces. And I give you an example. So before my first marriage ended, I was getting the red flares were going off, the red, the flags, the flares. everything alive in me knew that like it was time for this, for me to not be in this marriage. And the boys were very young. They were just a couple of years old. And I actually, went to a counselor and I said, I think it's time for me to end my marriage and I am frightened. It literally was only probably a little over a month that I started counseling that my ex-husband came home, told me he was dating somebody and that he was moving in with her. So the highest vibration alive within me was this marriage is over. But in my fear, it didn't come maybe in the package I wanted it to with an affair, but nevertheless, that was the highest vibration. And even though I was upset and angry when he left, I actually broke out in tears of joy and tears of relief. So always know, are not choosing. We really are allowing what is the highest vibration, what we are believing in our subconscious to choose for us. And then there is that impulsive reactor, right? Somebody says or does something and it hurts. And instead of taking that deep breath in, we react. We react in a way where we're not coming from our highest. We also may feel like pressure to choose, like right now, like, I can't let this linger. And so therefore, I will, make that choice. And sometimes you can see that showing up in, there's that upsetment and in that impulsive reacting, instead of taking that breath and sensing it from within, maybe we're going to eat the whole row of Oreos like Robbie did, or it could be the ice cream or whatever it may be. And there's also this, sometimes the dance that we do in relationships, right? A lot of you know that I'm caretaking my mom, and many times when we go, I go to see her and I bring her groceries or just, come and bring dinner. I'm opening the door and I'm on the first step, and the words I hear, I'm such a troublemaker. I'm making life so difficult for you. And no matter how many times I try to reassure her, she will go on and on. And then I would play the reactive dance because it would be something like I just wanted to silence because it made me uncomfortable. So then I would go and kind of, say the same thing. And we would be doing this dance, this impulse, And finally I was like, okay, I'm going to just like breathe, take a deep breath in, and I'm going to come up the stairs. And what would be another choice, And I'm like, hi, it's good to see you. Can we start again, Mom? Can I hug you? And then there is always the unconscious choosing that we're not aware to moment to moment. And when we're doing that sleepwalking, we're driving in our car and we're so used to going to work, but we're not going to work today. And we still get off the exit for work. And then we find ourselves being a bit late. Deepak Chopra speaks of this. And we have become bundles of conditioned reflexes that are constantly being triggered by people and circumstances into predictable outcomes of behavior. Do you have a family member that you do a certain dance with that seems to be the same dance steps, but doesn't get you anywhere? So I invite you into that deep looking. And now we move into how do we become masterful choice makers, claiming dominion over our thoughts, our actions, our words, and our choices, our power of will. And so Deepak asks us to ask two questions. What will be the consequences of this choice? And will this choice bring happiness to me and another? Now he asked us to ask those questions and then bring them in to the wisdom of our body and the wisdom of our hearts. And we'll get to that in a moment. But I want us to look at the words here, happiness to me and another. happiness can be so subjective, right? So words I use, is this in alignment with my highest good and truth, or is in alignment with truth? And is this in alignment of me holding the truth for another? So here's an example, okay? When the boys were young and they were getting used to going to sleep with me rocking them, and I wanted them to learn how to self-soothe, and I left them in their crib, they were not happy. They were not happy at all. They screamed, they yelled, and each night it was a little bit less. But I knew in my heart of hearts it was for the highest good for them to learn to be masterful self-soothers and for me to get good sleep and to be good to me. And that can continue on in our lives. So we take those two questions and we bring them into first in a moment, seeking the wisdom that our body would have to say for us, to tell us. So we engage in those deep breaths, 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out. And we do that for a couple of moments. Now, the more you engage in this heart breathing, and I invite us into this very often, the more you engage in this moment to moment, the more it's going to become natural. I wouldn't wait till you have like a crisis to make this big decision to just first try it, okay? So breathing in deeply, and then you ask, what are the consequences? Is this, if you like to continue with the happiness, or you can say, is this for the highest truth or good of me and another person? And then sense. And he says, particularly in your solar plexus and your heart area, what signal are you getting? And usually if there's this discomfort sense in these areas, it's not in alignment. Or if you feel the breath of comfort in some way, that it is in alignment with your highest good. And then this requires some practice of listening. But he really says that the aspect of ourselves, our heart, is where the font of wisdom is, which is the premise of heart math that I have shared with you. And David MacArthur, author of The Spiritual Heart, speaks to the process of heart math in making these choices. And he uses this language to help access that deep heart wisdom. And he says, number 1, touch and breathe. We place one or both of our hands over our heart. And then we begin to take those deep breaths in for the count of 5 and out for the count of 5. And we do that for a few moments. And that helps us to bypass the amygdala, the reactive, impulsive choice maker within us, to go deeper within. And then after doing the touch and breathe for a couple moments, we're asked to remember and feel. Think of a memory that elicits not the thought of, but the feeling of when you experienced appreciation, compassion, love, or joy. And as you call that memory, you allow your whole being to drink in those feelings, those vibes within your beingness. And you allow in this place for the heart to open beyond the physical presence of the heart to deep within the spiritual heart of our being, where the wisdom resides. And then the third step after doing that for a few moments is to engage in what he calls sincere asking. So sincere asking would be this. I take you back to what I presented just a moment again. The sincere asking Chopra asks us into is, what are the consequences of this choice? As we continue to do the heart breathing, will this choice bring happiness? Is this in alignment with my highest good? Is it in alignment with truth? Am I seeing somebody whole and complete, that they can't, that they're incapable? Or am I going to energize that they are whole and complete and powerful and are able to do for themselves what is in alignment for their highest good? And then at times when we've made a mistake or need a misstep and we need to make amends, we can also seek that heart wisdom. How can I transform this experience into something greater for both of us? And now I give you these questions that David MacArthur in the Spiritual Wisdom of the Heart book gives us. What is an effective response in this situation? What do you want me to know? What do you want me to do? What is an effective next step? And again, this takes practice. And the more you do it, the more will be revealed. And sometimes you may be in that meditation, you might not feel like something arises, and then you have engaged that ask. You have asked the wisdom to be revealed. And so as you trust the divine timing, you may be in the supermarket and then all of a sudden you get this flash of an idea. So I wanted to just spend just a moment about what I meant about happiness versus, is this an alignment for the highest good for myself and someone else? I did this, many of you know about, again, caretaking with my mom. And when the choice of, will she move in with me? My intellect was like, hell no, I ain't doing that. And as I took it into this experience of asking the wisdom of my heart, although it brought up some uneasiness, and I wasn't jumping for joy, there was something deep within me that said that this was mine to do. And that how I am showing up with her, that I had the ability and the power to create that experience and to show up in that love. And my intellect first said, okay, we got to get a bigger place. We got to get a bigger place because that's the thing to do. And then as the heart wisdom, I went into reflection. It was like, your body is tired. There's so much about you that is tired. There's plenty of room here. How can you? And that wasn't the choice that came up as I went within. It didn't mean that stepping into this choice is totally comfortable, but the wisdom of my beingness knows it at a level that I can't put it into words. And so let us take a deep breath. Shared quite a bit, some of it familiar, some of it may be unfamiliar to you. And so here's the shortened version of an invitation I invite you into this week, which is the invitation of Deepak Chopra in practicing the law of karma. Today, I will witness the choices I make in each moment. And in the mere witnessing of these choices, I will bring them to my conscious awareness. 2, whenever I make a choice, I will ask myself 2 questions. What are the consequences of this choice that I am making? And will this choice bring fulfillment and happiness to me, and also to those who are affected by this choice, or the highest good, or in alignment with truth? And then 3, I will then ask my heart for guidance and be guided by its message. And I close. Sometimes we think of the heart as wishy-washy, it's sentimental. We shouldn't lead with our hearts. But I share these final words with you from Chopra. Only the heart knows the correct answer. Most people think the heart is mushy and sentimental, but it is not. The heart is intuitive, it's holistic, it's contextual, it is relational. It doesn't have a win-lose orientation. It taps into the cosmic computer, the field of pure potentiality, pure knowledge. and infinite organizing power and takes everything into account. At times, it may not even seem rational, but the heart has a computing ability that is far more accurate and far more precise than anything within the limits of rational thought. I send you deep gratitude from my heart to yours. Have a blessed week. Namaste.
Wow. What a powerful lesson. Thank you so much, Reverend Angela.
Oh, yes.
So I invite you to join me in our affirmative prayer. The wisdom of my unified heart mind guides me in making choices that are in alignment with my highest good and the highest good of others. So we've come to that time in our service where we have the opportunity to share the abundant blessings God has provided us. Your love offering is greatly appreciated, and know that when we give, we shall receive. We offer several opportunities to do this. You can go to our website and click on Give Now. Our weekly newsletter provides a link, or you can mail in a check to Unity by the Shore, or utilize your Breeze Church management account, which also allows you to set up a recurring offering. So I invite you to take your hand, place them over your heart, and join me in our love offering affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and increases all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
And I now invite our guardian angel to stop the recording